What's going on, everybody? Ev here, welcoming you to Talk Fitness to Me. Look, what if I told you there are very few black and white, yes and no answers when it comes to fitness, nutrition, and your health in general? Would you believe me? I hope so, because it's one of the few things I've learned to be true. Hearing that might be a little concerning. If there are no definitive answers, how will we know what to do? Now, I should clarify, it isn't that there are no definitive answers. It's that binary questions, really anything looking for a yes-no answer, require context. Context matters. Actually, context is critical because context honors the inherent uniqueness and difference in our lives. It's why I believe everything works, but not everything is going to work for you. What works for someone else might not work for you and vice versa. Now, where I see this play out the most is when people ask questions like, is blank good or is blank bad? What's the best? Fill in the blank. These are largely incomplete questions, easy to ask, but difficult to answer. They are too open-ended and too micro-focused. So instead of getting too deep in the minutia with our questions, we need to go much more macro. I think the best questions we can ask, or at least start with, are, what are the principles of the thing that I want to do? This will give you a much better filter to ask all of your other questions. Let's see how this plays out. What are the principles of fat loss? Primarily, a caloric deficit, which is a combination of calories in versus calories out. What foods will help me get into a caloric deficit? High satiety foods, high protein foods, which enough are typically more higher and higher on the satiety scale. Foods you really enjoy included regularly, so you're less inclined to binge or overeat them. What foods fall into that category? For most, typically, minimally processed fruits, vegetables, meats and grains, plus that occasional sweet and salty treat. Now, what minimally processed fruits, vegetables, meats and grains, plus the occasional sweet salty treat do I enjoy and can eat regularly? Now we're on to something. Now we've added in some context for our own situation. We didn't start there with our first question. It took a little digging to get there, but now we're there. You see, asking crappy questions is way too easy, but not surprisingly, leads to crappy answers. But if you get to the core of what you're trying to do, whether it's fat loss, muscle gain, or some other health-related focus, you're likely to ask much better questions. Better questions equals better answers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening in to Talk Fitness to Me. I'm Ev. I'm always on your side. We'll see you soon.